A rule is to break. A child's guide to anarchy. Don't look like everybody else. Be you. When someone says work, you say, why?
I ain't gonna punch a clock no more. Gonna work with my family. Can't shake the notion I've been cheating myself for another man's fantasy. Pick up my plant back, garden out back. Sunshine will do me some good. Think I'll take a shot at making rock and roll be what it could.
My name is John Bush, and this is my fiancée, Catherine. We're two grassroots activists doing what we can to create a more peaceful world. For years, we've fought the man through the political system. Now we have a family, and it's time for a change. Rather than fighting, we want to build new forms of community outside of the government's influence and show the world that we can rely on ourselves and our community to solve our common problems. We can't say for sure if this will work.
I'm trying to get the hang of this thing.
But we are bound and determined to find out. We've moved out of the city onto a farm in the outskirts of Austin, Texas for our experiment in lifestyle design. Now we're new to this way of life, so we'll be traveling around the country and learning from experts along the way. Growing our own food, harvesting our own energy, and living an all-around self-sufficient lifestyle. We aim to get off the grid and be the masters of our own lives. Now that's sovereign living. I've always been a bit of a rebel and a bit of an anti-authoritarian type.
I'm gonna arrest you.
A few years ago, I was really involved in political activism.
Got involved in a lot of activism in college, educating people.
We are Nazis here to thank Senator Dool for his support of checkpoints in Texas.
Heil Dool, the Führer is very proud of you.
He would make Adolf Hitler very proud.
Met Catherine, and I started having her on a radio show that I was doing. Started doing radio back in 2007, still doing radio today. You know, some would say it was love at first sight.
On New York City Street.
That's my girl.
So I was traveling the country with John. It had become my life, my obsession, and I ended up being arrested on a free speech issue. And it really screwed with me emotionally, and I decided I had to change my life. So I decided, instead of running around the country, banging my head against a wall and trying to fight the state, that I would instead try and improve myself and learn how to grow food, learn how to garden, and learn how to provide for a future family.
Yeah, me and Catherine decided to have a family along the way, and here we are, moving beyond the political institutions, trying to create alternative institutions that will be better at serving our needs and creating community cohesion and peace and freedom. Here at the Blush Family Farm, you'll find our dog Murray Rothbard, one peacock named Freddie Mac, and the two peafowl are Hillary and Condi. You'll find 60 chickens. You'll find a water storage system that's 275 gallons of water.
10 raised garden beds in our kitchen garden.
We also have a composting system, and we have a maggot bucket that we put meat in, and we feed the chickens maggots.
We have over 400 onions in the ground, and pretty soon we will have ripe peppers and tomatoes.
We have potatoes growing in these two bins here. It's a real good area where the sun comes right overhead from the morning to the evening.
Paul is one of our best friends. He comes over probably 5 days a week to help on the property. He's one of the most honest, hardworking, dedicated, generous, loving people that I've ever met.
My name is Paul Davis. I'm 44 years old. I'm a martial arts instructor by trade. Some of my tattoos, well, freedom on the neck, you know? Freedom to me means freedom from any form of oppression, mentally, physically, spiritually.
He has a really good energy. He's really zenned out. He's constantly evolving and he's constantly learning new things, which is great because I like to be like that, and having someone that kind of pushes me along and helps me evolve is really fantastic to have in our house.
This was always kind of a dream of mine to link up with some friends, start working together on producing our own food and livelihood.
He's just been an absolute blessing to our lives. I really love Paul.
We're proud of what we've accomplished so far. We've started a fruitful garden, raised 60 chickens, and we've managed to build a bit of community, but we're nowhere near being entirely off the grid. it's time to get serious. In order to get off the grid, we need to produce our own food, provide our own source of water, harvest our own alternative energy, and build a community of friends that can contribute to our total skill set. Our immediate goals are to produce 50% of our own food, store thousands of gallons of water, and reduce our dependency on the central energy grid by 50%. Right now, we're only producing about 9% of our own food. The chickens make up the bulk of this number at 7%. With 60 chickens, we eat about 10 to 12 eggs altogether for breakfast, and we eat a bird once every 2 months. The kitchen garden only produces less than 1% of our food with herbs and strawberries. We're waiting on an onion harvest to boost the numbers. We get an additional 2% of our food supply from bartering advertising on my radio show in exchange for $150 worth of veggies and grass-fed beef. Right now, if we raise our chicken population from 60 to 200 chickens, we should be able to barter more eggs and chickens and eat a chicken once a week, raising our food productivity up 10 to 15%. We've been talking a lot recently about using some of the open land on the other side of our property to build around 17 additional garden beds. Growing fruit and veggies in this area of our property could yield as much as 15 to 25% more food. The challenge has been getting organized enough to pull off the operation and ensure we care properly for such a large number of plants, especially with Kat being 8.5 months pregnant. On the energy front, to get 50% off the grid, our goal is to reduce our usage by 25% and to harvest our own energy with alternative sources for the other 25%. This is an area that I don't have a lot of working knowledge with, so I'll be seeking help from within our community of friends.
There's a place called Bardo Farm up in Croydon, New Hampshire, and they're just like us. They didn't know what they were doing, but they're doing it anyway, and they're doing a damn good job of it. And they're 100% off the grid, all sorts of alternative energy, and the people there are absolutely great. Well, we're driving up to Croydon, New Hampshire to visit the Bardo Farms project. Really excited about going to check it out and learning what they're doing. They're way forward and advanced when it comes to self-sufficiency, and I think they're really setting the bar. And hopefully we can be half the self-sufficient that they do. Then that would be a success in my opinion. And of course, as I said, it's snowing, so that'll definitely be another factor. I'm not used to the snow, being a Texas boy, and I did neglect to bring some boots as well.
Ready to rock or what?
I love Bardo, I love New Hampshire, and I'm so excited for John that he gets to go visit and spend time there, but I don't get to go, and I'm here extremely pregnant. I have to deal with a toddler, and just simply bending over to scoop the chicken feed is exhausting on me. It's frustrating that John is so busy. It's time for him to slow down, and he seems incapable of doing it sometimes. He just likes to work so much. But having a newborn is going to be a really big wake-up call, and it's hard. And, I am very happy for John. I'm excited for what he's doing, but I do wish I wasn't here by myself. In the past, I would be with John at Bardo and in New Hampshire, but unfortunately, TSA doesn't give me that option anymore. They say I either have to go through a body scanner as a pregnant person or have my body touched and violated by a stranger who I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that as an individual, and I am not comfortable traveling with a toddler who would have to go through a body scanner or be touched by a stranger. So unfortunately, I'm a sitting duck. I'm stuck here in Central Texas.
We're here at Bardo Farms in Croydon, New Hampshire to explore the exciting self-sufficiency projects they got set up here, the livestock, and everything they're doing, so we can take it back home to the Blush family farm and implement these types of tactics and techniques in our lifestyle. We're here with Neil. He's one of the owners here at Bardo Farms, part of the Bardo project. He's going to show us around and show us what they've done here. And I think it's important to note that Neil moved out here 5 years ago, right? And he was a complete novice whenever he started. And just to see what they've already done in a short period of time is very inspirational. It gives me hope that we'll be able to accomplish this same thing back at home. So let's go check it out.
What are your goals in the next year?
Well, we are hoping to definitely become more off the grid and more self-sufficient, and we'd like to explore solar, at least for some of the appliances and stuff like that. It looks like y'all got quite the setup right here.
Yep. We just installed these about 4 months ago. We've got about 3,600 watts of solar panels, which up here they actually produce a lot better than they do down where you're at, because when they're cooler they work better.
And each one of these is circuit breaker, so each string of
panels is separate from the others, and if you have any faults, it's much easier to find.
You told me earlier 90% of the energy that you guys use out here comes from the panels.
Yep.
Wow.
But we are planning on putting in another battery bank, which will help us get a couple more days because our batteries are fully charged by noon.
Wow.
So we could use a bigger battery bank.
Wow, so this is it. Now, obviously, the solar brings in the energy. Why would you need to have all these batteries?
Sun doesn't always shine. So we'd still like to have power when the sun's not shining. And that's basically what the battery bank does, is give you that power when you don't have an outside power input.
Every second, the sun releases roughly 500,000 times the energy needs of the whole planet. This makes for a whole lot of energy just waiting to be harnessed. Once the solar panels capture the sun's energy, it needs to be stored in a battery bank for nighttime and cloudy days. A charge controller ensures that the batteries won't be damaged by overcharging or over-depleting. In order to power your house, the energy from the batteries needs to be inverted from a direct current to an alternating current with an inverter. Connect the inverter to the AC fuse box in your home and voila, the energy of the sun is now powering your house.
We wouldn't have been able to afford this thing if we got these new, but data centers can't afford any failure, so they cycle through their batteries way before they're bad, and we picked them off of there.
Do you think it's already paid for itself?
Probably in about 4 months it'll have paid for itself.
Sometimes you supplement the solar with the generator. You want to check that out?
Yep, I'll show you.
So this is it.
Our military surplus generator.
Excellent. So tell me, you guys got the solar, you got the battery. Why do you need the generator on top of that?
Well, I guess it's twofold. One, if you're having bad weather for a long period of time and you're just not getting the sun, you need the generator for that. The other is if there is any issue with our solar panels, we have to take them apart to fix them or something along those lines. Again, we can power the house.
After Neil showed me around, Adam needed some help cutting wood. First thing we had to do was sharpen the chainsaw.
I'm all self-taught, so. Holy shit.
Adam cut himself.
It'll be fine. I mean, you don't really have to worry too much about infections unless you get a lot of pig shit in it or...
It's kind of a different attitude out on the farm when it comes to stuff like cuts and scrapes and bruises.
Yeah, I get hurt almost every day working here, honestly.
Yeah, Adam was quite the character. He'd been out on the farm for 6 months. Cool thing about the farm is anyone can go out there and live for a while, as long as they work hard and get along with the community, and he seemed to do pretty well at both.
I'll warn you right now, you're gonna see me break every single rule I tell you.
So Adam, we had some chainsaw problems, tried to repair it. What was the problem you found out we had here?
One side of the chain is just sharper than the other, so it'll cut and kind of curve. I imagine in severe cases it could break that chain too. And I really don't want to be on the other end of that chain when it breaks, so I'm gonna call it quits.
Safety precautions.
Here's the faster way to split wood versus using a block, which I don't use. Done.
Talk about the golf swing. Nice.
Can't mess around when you gotta split a cord a day, so get it done quick.
Nice.
It's definitely hard being without John. He's my best friend.
When John was gone to Bardo, I think it affected Kat obviously more than it did me, and you know, she missed her man. You know, we kept it going out here.
This is what has happened. The compost bowl didn't make it back inside, so I just started stacking compost on one plate at a time. And the dishes haven't got done just because it's exhausting for me to stand right now. Welcome to our living compost pile.
So we've already checked out the energy aspects. Now we're gonna chat a little bit about the livestock operations they have. We're joined by Emily. She's the lady of the household. Maybe you could just tell us a little overview of what the different types of breeds y'all have and animals and stuff like that.
Pigs are our major animal that we have, and we've been doing the longest, I would say, as far as raising and now breeding. Actually, I'm hoping you can give us a hand with some fun pig operations. Kind of like sloperations, but a little sloppier. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrestle some.
Okay, let's do
All
it.
part of the fun.
So I knew we were coming upon the pig pen because I could smell it from quite a ways away. And here they are. So tell us a little bit more about the pig operation. This isn't usually where you keep them, right?
No, we generally keep them in the woods. This was our garden, one of our gardens, and we'd move them quite frequently. So they always have a new pen, a new area to dig up and root up, and keeps them happy.
I'm really amazed by how integrated everything is here at Bardo. Every animal has a role to play in every process on the farm. Seeing how nasty the pig pens are, you would think that they are completely destroying the land. In fact, it's just the opposite. They rotate the pigs around to different gardening areas because the pigs actually dig up rocks, eat weed seeds, and till the soil, preparing it for growth. Their feces also serves as a great fertilizer for the gardens. What looks like a swamp of poo is actually part of an important cyclical process at Bardo Farm. This has reinvigorated my goal to get pigs on our property. As with all things, I gotta run it by Kat first.
We need goats way more than we need pigs. Goats can actually provide for everyone in our family, not just the meat eater.
So these are the rabbits.
Yep, these are some of our rabbits. These are the mothers and young that are kind of need a warmer environment for this time of the year.
So I see there's a bin underneath here collecting some of the poo. What is that?
Those are our worm bins.
It seems more and more like poo is a valuable commodity to any farm. Here at Bardo, the rabbit cages sit atop the earthworm bins. Feces from the rabbits drops down into the soil that the earthworms live in. The earthworms then eat the feces and turn it into feces of their own, which the farmers collect and put into the plants. The soil from the earthworm bins is extremely nutrient dense and is sure to help plants have bountiful yields.
We can also make a tea out of them, a worm tea, and you can spray that on plants, and we've seen instant results from that. It's really cool. You can spray even like flowers, and the next day they're just brighter and bigger.
Yeah, that's definitely something we're going to get started sooner than later down on the Blush family farm. Thank you for showing it to us.
Sure.
So not only are you guys making your own food and your own energy, but you're also making your own homes. Tell us about these cabins here.
This is this year's project. We were able to get a sawmill. The year before that, we logged our land. This is the first one we built, and we wanted to keep it simple. And so, you know, your basic structure. And we call it the duck house because we have our pond here. It's frozen over. You can't see it right now, but the ducks hang out there.
And this one right here looks like it's built onto a giant rock.
Yeah, this was somebody had a funny idea, and of course, here at Bardo, we just go for it. So they're like, let's just put it right on the rock. It's a nice cleared spot.
Wow, so you guys balanced it and leveled it out with the rock,
Yep.
huh?
So this is the third cabin that we built.
Wow.
And it's the tree house,
Wow.
as you can see.
Is anybody home?
This is Adam's cabin. I think he's in there, so you can see if he'll show you the inside.
Let's check it out.
Hey. Hey, how are you? Not too bad, you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So this is the tree house.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. What's it like living in here?
You know, just like any other house, I guess.
So this is kind of the lounge area. You sleep up top?
Yep.
So you got a lot of blankets?
Doesn't get much colder than outside, so.
Well, man, I really appreciate how you guys just built these from scratch. It's really peaceful out here with the nice, pretty white snow. Very serene. You got the basics that you need. You got your food, your heat, your shelter. So, you know, what more could you ask for? Avoid the hustle and bustle. Become self-sufficient and live how humans were intended to live. Today, Kat's going to a baby shower that my mom and sister put together for her.
My friends and family have a mixed reaction to my lifestyle choices. I'm not very close to my immediate family. My mother and I are really good friends. My father doesn't really speak to me. It was really, really hard for me at first. I took it personally till I finally decided to give them the choice. You know, I'm gonna stop worrying about this if it is their choice. But thankfully, John's family is very supportive of him and me. I guess you could call it a surrogate immediate family down here with John's family. The baby shower was really fun. I don't have a lot of girlfriends in Austin, so that part's always kind of weird for me. I laughed a lot, I had a lot of fun. It was such a blessing, and it really made me realize how important community is. I really had a good day.
Every day at Bardo starts with the morning meeting. Everyone shares what they did the day before and what they plan on doing for that day's work.
Yeah, I just want to do an oil change on the tractor, and I want to split wood today.
Helps to keep things on track and organized. They even have a whiteboard system that has everyone's name, where they're going to be that day, and what they're going to be doing. I'm definitely interested in trying to implement some of this down on the Blush family farm. Kat called me just now, and apparently they're expecting some really bad windstorms today.
We have not seen wind like this since the wildfire outbreak a year and a half ago.
So the news reports are saying the storm's supposed to be really bad. I'm getting really nervous about the tree branches falling on the house.
I'm a little bit worried about her being all alone right now.
So we're layered up. We got our winter gear on. We got the jeans with the long johns underneath. I think they might be Catherine's long johns. They're a little snug around the...
After the morning meeting, Adam needed a hand moving pigs who outgrew their pen.
You're gonna want to take that mic off, and I got a little something you can wear, because you're gonna get nice and muddy doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, 99% of the time, it's not mud.
This is what I looked like yesterday afternoon after I was done, wrangling piglets.
All right, here we go. All right, so what's our goal here?
We're gonna pick them up and we're just gonna set them over that fence.
The pigs definitely knew what was up. They tried to hide in their little igloo house. I saw Adam try to sneak into the igloo house. And then I remembered he just got through telling me the last thing you want to do is go into the igloo house because it's a sure way to get injured.
But he's crazy enough to do it anyway.
How about that little guy? Little chubby.
You one in the middle?
Yeah.
All righty. Score one for the humans.
There you go.
This is exciting.
Boy.
That was a workout.
Yeah.
Too soon for a beer?
That's never too soon.
Not only was it quite the workout, I see how you get injured too, but now we have the lovely scent of pig poop. That's kind of lingering. I see we got some on the camera there too.
It's definitely a whole lot easier when you have two people in there to wrestle them.
This is definitely a team sport, this farming and self-sufficiency stuff.
Oh, definitely.
It really shows you how important it is to have community and support and help.
Just in the first 48 hours at Bardo, it became abundantly clear to me that this lifestyle, a sovereign lifestyle, totally redefines what self-sufficiency means. It's not about the individual being 100% self-reliant. Rather, it's about communities relying on each other, teaching one another, and sustaining one another. Later that afternoon, I had the opportunity to meditate on what this all meant for my life.
Probably need to slow down and make some lifestyle changes. How busy I am right now is not sustainable for me or my family. What broke? It's Kat on the phone. There's really bad windstorms down in Austin.
The wind was so strong it actually knocked the brick facade off a 3-story building.
Things are blowing everywhere. It's just not safe.